Hi, hello everybody. This is going to be the gear bit of what the weekend is like if you go for a walking trip. This is all the gear that I take with me. It doesn't have to be a gear that you take with you. A few things I would expect you probably would be taking, but I do like my gadgets, so I have some extra bits and bobs that you probably wouldn't be using. So let's just go through the basic stuff. So this is just set up for people that haven't really been on walking trips before, don't really know what they need to take with them, and it's just a little guide for the kind of thing you might want to be taking, especially for winter walking trips, because they're generally a little bit colder and a little bit wetter. So, starting from the beginning, and I have my pointy stick. I've got my waterproof coat and a warm layer. So, most people use a layering system. You've got some kind of base layer, t-shirty type thing. Not cotton though. Cotton, when you sweat, doesn't dry out, gets really cold and gets you a bit hypothermic, so you don't want that. So some sort of synthetic wicking base layer, and then a mid layer, which is just like anything warm. This little down jacket could be a fleece, could be a woolly jumper, anything along those lines, sweatshirt, whatever you want. Waterproof coat, obviously, keep the wind and rain off, and I've also got some waterproof trousers. You may also want to have some gaiters as well. Those things that go around your feet, stop the water getting into your boots and down into your socks. And that's most of the waterproof bits dealt with. Need a decent pair of walking boots. Don't have to be super expensive, but you probably want them to have a decent amount of grip on the soles. Go with waterproof ones. Gore-Tex is always nicer because they will breathe a lot more and you won't get so sticky, but whatever you can get. Then as far as other warm things are concerned, we have woolly hat of some sort, or just something to keep your head warm. I get very cold hands. I don't get cold anywhere else, but I do get cold hands, so I go a little bit overkill with the glove stuff. But I have some wrist warmers, which are just made out of merino wool. They're actually an old pair of socks, but there we go. Some normal gloves and some over gloves that I can put over the top of these ones if my hands get cold. I tend to find that if I stand around for a while, haven't done anything for a bit, until I get moving again, my fingers get a little bit numb. It takes a while for circulation to come back, so put these on. That speeds things up nicely. In addition to this, other things that you probably really could do with having. This is my first aid kit. So I'd suggest everyone carries one. It doesn't have to be that big. That's got knee bandage in, it's got an ankle support in. I tend to take lots of ibuprofen with me because I tend to get a bit achy sometimes. Ibuprofen, paracetamol. I've also got like a CATS kit, those kind of things. I'd also recommend some Compeed or something similar, like little blister patches you can get, and also carry a roll of micropore tape which you can put on before you go walking on the bits that you know tend to get hot and sticky and get blisters on, and that will stop you from getting blisters as well. Okay, other bits and bobs, some of which you might want, some of which you won't want. I would always recommend having a head torch of some sort. It doesn't have to be a head torch, it can be a normal torch, but a torch of some sort. It gets dark pretty quickly, so we sometimes get caught out in the dark, so it's good to have a torch with you. I've got a emergency shelter. That's just like a little plastic sleeping bag thing. So if anything went wrong, someone could tuck themselves in one of them and stay nice and warm. Not a necessary item to take with you, but it's nice if the group has got one somewhere around. I've also got a backup torch. I put a light stick in. They're quite useful in emergencies. Once again, not necessarily the sort of thing you want to do, but I tend to take lots of stuff, so I know I've always got everything I'm going to need. Compass, always nice to have a compass with you. Map might be a good idea as well. Haven't got one for this area, and I tend to kind of let other people do the navigation. But you may want a map and compass, always a good thing to have. I've also got my GPS, which has got maps on it, so I've kind of got maps with me. That's got my sunglasses, because I like to be optimistic. It's also got my contact lenses in, which I need for when I'm walking, because my glasses get steamed up. I've got a little foam sit pad, which is quite nice when you do your stops. It's nice to have something to sit down on, so you don't get a wet bum. I've also got walking poles. Once again, not something you need, but they do make a nice difference sometimes. Do take quite a lot of pressure off your knees, so if you know you have slightly dodgy knees, probably be a good idea to take one of them with you. I've got my phone in a waterproof case, so that's not going to get messed up. I've got the rucksack that all of this stuff is going to go in. I've got a rain cover for the rucksack as well, and then I've also got a water bladder to keep all my water in. You don't have to have a bladder, a couple of bottles will be fine. Just make sure you've got some water with you because you're going to need some stuff. I think that's pretty much everything, except for a buff I've got there, so something for your neck or for your head or for whatever you want it for. They're multi-purpose. I'm sure if you've been into any outdoor shop, you'll have seen the multiple videos they have on the different uses of a buff. Dry bag to put all my warm layers in, so all of this stuff will go into that dry bag and squish down into the rucksack. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the kind of things that I take with me when I'm actually walking. In my other bag, which is just a small grip, that's got my sleeping bag for it. In the huts you don't normally need a super duper sleeping bag. The huts are normally quite warm, we haven't had a cold one for a few years, so you should be okay in just a regular bog standard sleeping bag. I've got a little pillow, I've got all my clothes, I've got my wash stuff, towel, that kind of stuff. I may talk about food at a later date in a different video if I've got all my food ready. This is all done in preparation for next weekend because I've got a busy week ahead of me. So hope that was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye. Ha! So you thought I'd finished? Well, so did I. There is one more, or a few more things. First of all, on my warm layer, I've done the zip halfway up. If you are out in the cold and you need to put on your warm layer, it's probably because it's a bit chilly. So you've either got cold hands, which won't work properly, or you might have gloves on that you don't really want to take off. Trying to do up zips on top of the mountain in a hurry, if it's raining, if it's windy, can be a bit of a pain. So if you've got them halfway done up already, you can just put it on a little bit like a jumper, and then it's fairly easy just to zip it up the last bit. So that might save you a little bit of stress on the hill if you've got that sorted out beforehand. Also, if you are going to take a layer off or put a layer on, if you just, when you're undoing your coat, just undo it halfway, drop it down around your waist, take the layer off, put the layer on, zip it back up again afterwards. Just saves you a little bit of stress and hassle. Other bits I didn't mention, I normally take a multi-tool with me, just in case, and I always like to have some sort of way of starting a fire. These are definitely me sort of things. I don't think any other people carry these, but I do like to know that I can set fire to something if I have to. It's probably the pyromaniac in me. And for those of you that didn't believe that it would all go into the rucksack, well, everything so far except for the warm layers in this stuff is in. So I'll just stuff those bits inside, and then you can see that it all fits in quite nicely. So, got the element. That can go on the inside of my lid, where I put things that I might want to get to in an emergency, but it could stay relatively dry. This down jacket should, hopefully, squeeze itself into that pocket. Got a love down for the compressibility. Don't have to love down for what it's like when it gets wet. So, other warm layers are in there. Stick that in there. Put it down. There it goes. So you've got a bit of room in there.